Welcome to NBA basketball. I'm Damon Bruce, and we've got it for you here on 2K Sports. Monday night in the NBA, it's the Detroit Pistons going up against Jrue Holiday and the Philadelphia 76ers. And now, out to Philadelphia with Kevin Harlan, Clark Kellogg, and Steve Kerr.
.2K Sports presents the NBA. Monday Night Basketball is coming right up, so don't even think about switching over to football. This is Kevin Harlan with Doris Burke, Steve Kerr, and Clark Kellogg. The Philadelphia 76ers preparing to defend home court in this Eastern Conference battle. They're looking for a little bit of redemption in this one after the loss to them here last time.
And I'll bet they're still not sure how they lost that game, guys, or at least that it wasn't a little closer anyway, because they got some good performances out of a few guys.
Yeah, you know what? That's one of those games where you just have to tip your hat to your opponent. Give him credit. Give them credit. They played a terrific game.
And now the opening lineup for Detroit. We've got Harden. Hickson is out there with Ibaka. Then it's DeRozan, and it's Knight in at the point guard position. And for the 76ers, we've got Spencer Hawes. Evan Turner is out there with Young. Then it's Holiday, and it's Stuckey in at the two guard.
Shooting for Philadelphia.
You remember the start that the 76ers got off to a year ago, scorching hot. But when Spencer Hawes was injured, when he hurt his Achilles, it really slowed the Sixers down, and they ended up fading really at the end of the year.
And you know, talking about Hawes, always a skilled shooter, he has shown a renewed willingness to go inside and get physical.
Kevin, I like the fact his rebounding numbers have improved. I think he's going to continue to be a very good weapon as a pick-and-pop big man, but that work on the glass, that's going to be critical for him and his team going forward.
We'll go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Lawrence Frank. What's the news, Doris?
Going into this game and scouting the opposition, he told me he's a huge fan of Jrue Holiday, saying, you know, Drew's still a guy with so much potential. You just don't see that many point guards with his kind of frame. 6'4", close to 2 bills, and a great skill set to match. He's a guy you love to watch, but you often hate to go up against. Kevin, we'll see if he can have a big impact in this one.
Thanks, Doris.
You know, you look at how the Pistons season went, Kevin, and one of their big problems was getting anything of substance done on the road. I mean, just a terrible time for them finding points on the road.
The Pistons have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far.
Well, the thing that served them best in that game was their fantastic three-point shooting.
And the way they were rotating, moving the ball, getting it from side to side, getting open on the perimeter, boy, it was beautiful to watch.
Pistons on the road, you're right. Clark did struggle, and as you said, Steve, you know, second lowest point total for them, beating out only the Bobcats. Wow.
Yeah, tough to win on the road when you can't score. You know, their defense kept them in it for only so many games, but sooner or later, that lack of production is going to cost you when you go away from your home arena. That's all the space he needs, guys. They'll make you pay every time if you give him that shot.
Back to Young. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
What you love about Thaddeus Young out of Georgia Tech is the small ball 4 position that he plays. He's so quick and active that he's a nightmare for opposing power forwards to cover. But he's long enough to defend bigger players at the other end of the floor.
Now, here is Harden. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. Harden's got his second basket of the night.
He's a guy that'll take it right into the teeth of the defense. A lot of his points come from inside of 5 feet.
They set the pick. Stuckey outside. Thaddeus Young on the wing. Holiday attacking. He passes to Turner. He feeds it to Hawes. 76ers moving the ball around. The shot by Turner, no good.
Well, just the one make here early on, 1 for 5 shooting.
And Thaddeus Young, great in transition and able to drive and finish at the rim.
Yeah, I really like his improvement and how he's developed as a player. He's tough for most big men to stay in front of. He's got the nice left-handed stroke, which I think keeps guys off balance a bit. He really brings high energy and scoring punch off the bench.
I like that foul. You don't want to give up an easy 2 in transition.
No, you don't want to give up a layup. Make him earn them from the stripe, and maybe you get a break and he makes only one of the free throws or misses them both.
Boy, how about the roller coaster ride for the Sixers last year, guys? They started out so hot, looked like they were going to control the Atlantic Division and maybe even be one of the top seeds in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Then they just totally collapsed down the stretch.
Harden against Stuckey. Here's Knight. Good on the triple.
And you guys know the 3 ball is his bread and butter.
The 76ers trail by 7. And Holiday kicks to Turner. The dish to Young. The feed to Turner. Outside Holiday. There's the pick. Shoots over Hickson. The shot by Holiday, no good. See, we're talking about the 76ers last year. They had a brutal month of February with some of the best teams in the NBA going into Philadelphia, playing on the Sixers' home floor. So I think, Clark, that probably slowed them down. They had some searching there among themselves as to how they were going to get out of it, but they did, and then they had a terrific run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think what happened was they had a front-loaded schedule, a lot of home games early in the season. And then the Eastern Conference kind of caught up with them a little bit as you went into the latter part of the season. The Sixers are capable of being a dominant team. They want to be a dominant team in the East. They've still got work to do, but this is a team on the rise.
DeAndre Jordan's checked in for J.J. Hickson. Kicks it to Hawes. Turner over DeRozan. The 76ers with another miss. Young against Harden. Fires it up. And the Pistons getting another bucket right there.
Yeah, Harden is really an instant offense type guy, Kevin. He's been a role player off the bench the last couple of years, but it seems like he's ready to emerge into a star. He's instant offense when he comes into the game.
And, Steve, it's not just because Harden can get hot in a hurry. It's also because he can find ways to get the shots he wants. And he isn't just a catch-and-shoot guy. He knows when to put it on the floor, create some space, and then pull up for the 2. He's also a better passer than advertised.
That is good. Harden's got 9 points.
Yeah, and you see Doug Collins, coach of the Sixers, real veteran in this league. He's had coaching stops in Chicago, Detroit, Washington, and now Philadelphia.
Shot's good from Young.
Nice soft touch to drop that one in.
Stolen away. Now here's the fast break. Stuckey leading the way. He kicks it to Turner. Over Harden. The shot by Turner, no good. And for the terrific Doug Collins, 10 years in all as an NBA head coach, leading his team to the playoffs in 7 of those seasons.
And at every stop, Kevin, Collins' teams have improved defensively, and it's been no different with the Sixers. They had a 14-win improvement in his first season, and of course last year they continued to improve. Took Boston to 7 games in the conference semifinals, so this team has really made dramatic strides under Doug Collins.
And Holiday kicks to Stuckey. Young throws down the alley-oop slam.
Well, that certainly sent a ripple through the crowd.
Yeah, no, alley-oop always does that. One of the most beautiful plays you'll see in all of basketball. Yeah, it's impossible not to be impressed.
Yep, very exciting play to see that.
Especially when it ends with that big slam like that one.
The shot by Turner, no good.
+5 on the boards already here in the first quarter. They've gotten after it.
Yeah, that's a great sign in this game. If they're going to continue to rebound the ball like this, I think they're in great shape.
Out of bounds, Detroit takes possession.
Pistons ball.
And while there's a break, here's a collection of the shooting guards that have made an impact with their passing this season. The leading assist men among two guards. Number 1, Rodney Stuckey. 4th, James Harden. Looking at who's out there now for the Pistons. Ryan Anderson comes checked in for a box. Miller comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And Jordan Crawford is subbed in for Brandon Knight.
Well, it's easy to see that the East is improving as a conference, and the Pistons are doing their best to keep up with everyone, but they aren't quite there yet.
Back to the Pistons in the East. Ended last season with a 20-28 record against the conference. Steve, they know they need to improve.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're a young team. They've got some talent. They made some good strides last year under Lawrence Frank, but now it's a matter of taking that next step. And that means performing better against their Eastern Conference foes.
Watch outside.
And Holiday kicks to Stuckey. Back to Holiday. Good ball movement here by the 76ers. Hawes the pass to Stuckey. Young outside. Basket is good. The assist from Stuckey. And that's 10 points here for Thaddeus Young. Here's Crawford. And that one's good.
They're really struggling defensively, giving up too many easy buckets.
And they've been on fire offensively as a result, Clark.
Here's Young from down in the low post. It goes. Young's got 12 in the game.
He's just been dominant, trying to dig his team out of the hole.
Crawford.
Jordan Crawford.
Again, the Pistons good for 2.
Right from the get-go, they've been shooting the ball extremely well.
Well, I think it's a matter of just continuing to knock down shots like that. They'll get the W here, no question about it.
Holiday against Crawford. The shot by Holiday, no good. Miller outside. It went right down as the buzzer sounded.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know how he has the poise to make that shot look so easy.
Yep, and that's the most...
Coming up this Tuesday, Carmelo Anthony.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And a comfortable margin for the Pistons here, guys.
And you get a chance early on to see their depth. They got a nice effort from their bench players early in this game.
Yes, Steve, I tell you what, their subs have really packed the punch for them so far.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. Taking a look at the 76ers, we've got Richardson. Young out there with Spencer Hawes. Then there's Rodney Stuckey, and it's Holiday in at the point. J.J. Hickson, he's checked in for DeAndre Jordan.
Well, the one thing about Philadelphia last year, guys, was they didn't have a star. So they really had more of an ensemble cast where 4 or 5 different players could beat you on any one given night. And that can be a problem, though, when the game slows down. And Philly found that out later on in the season when they kind of ran out of energy.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, Charles Jenkins was the 44th overall pick in 2011, but he's played valuable minutes and has already earned a reputation as a tremendously hard worker. Jenkins said, in the NBA, you can be here one day and gone the next. Your job is up for grabs. It's something I want to keep, and I remind myself of that all the time. I want to be great. I was always told that good players do for themselves and great players do for the team. I'm willing to do anything to become that great guy. Kevin loved the attitude.
An intriguing young talent. Thanks. Back to what you said, Steve. It's these tough stretches where players go cold and things don't go your way. You know, Clark, that's when Philly needed a star to lean on.
And that's what seems to be the difference between the top teams and just the really good teams, Kevin. Having that go-to guy. And it doesn't have to be production. That's a big part of it. But leadership is really an aspect of that go-to guy as well, to be able to weather the storms when things aren't going as smoothly as you like. I think Philly still needs to be able to identify somebody to fill that role for him.
Crawford with the steal. Taken away by Holiday. Shot denied. They get it back, and the shot is good from Stuckey.
Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there.
And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here.
Yeah, he is none too pleased with the play of his club out there. It looks like they need a little time to get things sorted out here.
I don't know of any coaches that would be too happy if they just saw their team give up a run like this one.
Evan Turner, he's checked in for Philadelphia. Detroit also making some changes. Serge Ibaka has checked in for Anderson. Harkless comes in for Mike Miller. And it's Brandon Knight in for Jordan Crawford. Tries a 3 off the inbound. The rebound by Turner.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
And, you know, looking at J.J. Hickson, he spent 1 year at North Carolina State, and you can really see how much muscle he's put on his frame since he came into the NBA. He's really filled out nicely, and he's got a pretty powerful body for a big guy.
Timeout called the 76ers.
And Hickson is a good rebounder, still learning how to maximize his talents, but he's a big, strong, athletic format. A lot of potential.
James Harden, he's checked in for the Pistons. With this break in the action, here's a look at the teams that have blocked the most shots in the NBA this last month. The Pistons, number 1.
You know, shot blocking can sometimes be like a spark plug or an energy injection for the defense. Their home crowd really gets into it when they throw those shots out of there. Now, that's how you execute an alley-oop there, fellas.
And with an exclamation point, too, on the finish, throwing it down hard.
What a terrific play on both ends.
Knight dishes to Harden. Yes, and Knight with the assist that time. Knight's got 3 assists tonight.
Been a little too easy for them inside, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, Steve. I mean, they've really dictated the action in the paint. That's been their focus, and the defense hasn't mounted much resistance at all.
And the shot is good from Stuckey.
The offense has a better flow, and it actually looks better here in the second quarter.
Yeah, they've steadied themselves a little bit, trying to close this gap.
Here's Ibaka. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
No, it didn't take long for Serge Ibaka to establish himself as one of the best shot blockers in the league. He has impeccable timing, and he's so athletic and tall with long arms, so he's really able to bother offensive players.
Ibaka just gives you everything you want out of a hustle player. I mean, he plays tough in your face D, and on offense, he's got no problem banging down low for extra possessions or put-back dunks, and he's becoming a little more polished in his face-up game. At his size, he can really finish at the rim.
Yeah, and not just layups, as you just saw, folks. Wow.
Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, able to throw it down with ease.
Holiday with it, and it's Knight picking him up. And Young backs in. Holiday back to Young. It's good. The assist that time from Holiday. Holiday's got 5 assists in the game.
We've seen some great shooting from him today. They've got to lean on him a little bit more.
From deep, Harden. The shot will not go.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
Here's Turner. And that is good.
And the field goal percentage now up over 50%, so the offense coming around.
Yeah, Steve, I think that's a good sign. I mean, they stumbled out of the gates, but looking to regain some ground right now.
And Young comes over to help. Here's Ibaka, and that one's good. Ibaka's got 7.
Well, Lawrence Frank, head coach of the Pistons since last season. And before that, remember, he spent 7 years as the head coach of the Nets. Had a very competitive team there to start his career.
Second team foul.
Here is Stuckey. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against the Celtics in Boston.
Yeah, he picked his spots in that game, too, Kevin, because I thought he not only did a nice job scoring, but setting up his teammates as well.
And, you know, you talk about that tough team Lawrence Frank had in New Jersey. I mean, when he took that team over, they rattled off 13 straight wins. 6 of those were on the road consecutively. So both of those marks set records for a new head coach.
Looked like the defense kind of backed off him, and he took advantage.
The three from Harden, and that one's good. Harden's got 5 points now this quarter.
Boy, he's been so dependable here this game, really playing well offensively.
Ducky outside. Back to Holiday. Young, defended by Ibaka. Here's Turner. Oh, there you go. Chip back in for 2.
Attacking the paint again and again.
You know, they're getting whatever they want. I mean, 8 straight points coming inside.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Kevin, the 76ers are a young, athletic team, but they lack those really elite scorers on their roster. Coach Doug Collins admitted, we're not a great half-court team. As much as I like to work on our offense and try to help us, we're just not a great half-court team. We don't have a great post presence. When we're good is when we can get out into the open floor and up and down in transition. Kevin, after 4 years of being in the top 3 in fast break points, the Sixers fell to 12th last season. They're looking to renew their commitment to scoring in the open floor.
Well, they've certainly got the personnel to get out and run. And the call will be against Jason Richardson. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, close, but I didn't think he got on balance quickly enough.
And it's hard to draw charges as quick as players are at this level. That's not an easy bit of work there.
LaVoy Allen jumped in for Spencer Hawks.
You let him get to the rim, and that's exactly what's going to happen. You deserve that.
He's more than capable, you're right, Clark, of providing some great highlight reel material.
Yes, sir.
And for a point guard to finish like that, I mean, that is just special.
Pass to Young. And it's blocked. And here's Crawford. He's got 9. Here's DeRozan. Here's Ibaka. The second chance bucket is good. Ibaka's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Real persistence on his part. Stayed with the play and cashed in with the second chance points.
And Holiday kicks to Turner. Turner gets the screen from Young. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Been a nice game here for Young. He's got 24 points, and he's done his job at the charity stripe. He's gotten 4 of his points from there.
And that's a good place to get them. You know, they don't come easier than that, but you've got to get yourself there first.
Here's what Philadelphia's going with right now. Spencer Hawes is checked in for LaVoy Allen. Rodney Stuckey subbed in for Drew Holiday.
The offense is getting right to the rim, but at least they saved the layup with the foul.
That's old school basketball rules. I mean, at the end of the day, no easy layup. Earn it from the line.
He doesn't get the second one.
Well, they're shooting more free throws now than they were in the first quarter, and that's always important. Get those easy points when you can.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Steve. I mean, it shows they haven't lost their aggression in terms of creating contact. You know, sometimes teams will build the lead, and then they start driving the car with the parking brake on. Stay aggressive.
Good.
That's how you exploit that defense. Take the ball right to the basket.
Turner with it. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Boston.
I thought his rebounding was impressive as well, guys. He made some big boards, really helped. Down on the glass, helped his team out big time.
That'll do it for the first half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Live from 2K Sports, it's the Monday night edition of the Halftime Report. The Pistons coming out of the gates in charge. They're off to a pretty good spot. They're sitting second in the conference. James Harden not having any difficulty scoring against the 76ers. He's up to 14 points, and he's had some good court vision, helping out in the assist department as well. It'll be the Hawks against the Heat in Miami. Divisional games are always so...
Welcome back, everyone, to the start of the second half. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
Well, we know he can score, so it's not really a huge shock to see him put up these kind of big numbers.
And I would think that he most likely will continue to carry on this kind of play into the fourth.
Second half is underway, and here's who Lawrence Frank's got on the floor. DeRozan out there with Mike Miller. Then it's Harden. Then there's DeAndre Jordan. And it's Knight in at the 1.
He might not get a better look than that all game. You have to get closer to him. He's not going to bite you. Get up in him.
You know, Mike Miller is trying to battle his way back from some tough luck injury-wise over the last couple of seasons. Hernia surgery, thumb operation last year. It's kind of hit him all at once, but he's a good player, and he's a nice fit for this team when he's rolling. You know, Miller has battled injuries over the last few seasons, but when he's right, he can really help you on the wing, particularly as a rebounder and a spot-up shooter. Can really bury that three-point ball.
Yeah, a great shooter and rebounder, competes defensively. You know, a lot to like about his game. 6 on the shot clock. Holiday, the pass to Stuckey. With the clock winding down, it's good. The assist that time from Holiday. And it's 6 points in the game for Stuckey. And Mike Miller, a good player if he can stay healthy, and that's been the problem. He just can't stay healthy. But if he does, Clark, he's going to help you.
Yeah, he's got good size and mobility and a great stroke, and he's an outstanding rebounder for a wing player, and I think an underrated defender. But you're right, the issue has been his health, and he's not been the healthiest the last few years.
And the shot is good from Stuckey.
A great move to the hoop, capped off with the finger roll. He's an outstanding finisher in close.
Knight dishes to DeRozan. Pass to Jordan. Shot is no good. And it's Philadelphia the other way. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
And Kevin, I kept waiting for them to get back into that game. It seemed like they were capable of it, but it just never happened.
Well, I didn't see it, Steve. I mean, you had much more faith in them than I did. I didn't think they were showing any signs of life. We were watching the same thing, but perceiving it differently.
And Holiday kicks to Turner, and stolen by Knight. And now the Pistons fast break. Here's Jordan. Good defensive work there by Young.
He still couldn't finish, even though it looked like he had a lane to the rim. But too often, that's the story for him.
The 76ers were the 8th seed in the playoffs, and even though they upset the Bulls in the first round, it wasn't really considered a shocker as the Bulls were playing without Derrick Rose.
A nice shot by Knight.
What a half they're having from beyond the arc. It's getting ridiculous.
And there's no reason they shouldn't keep attacking from out there. I mean, they've got it going on in a big way now. In the last month, let's see how the Sixers perform. 6th in fewest turnovers per game. 7th in three-point field goal percentage. And they're in the top half of the league distributing the basketball as well. Not too shabby. Room for improvement, but acceptable.
No, they're a smart team. You talked about those few turnovers, and that's the number that really stands out to me when you go down that list of stats. They're smart. They don't take a lot of crazy gambles. They try to work the ball around the perimeter, get it inside when they can, and get the best shot every time down the floor.
But not to take anything away from the 76ers. They earned that win and showed they can make some noise in the playoffs. And we saw the kind of trouble they gave Boston in that second round.
Yeah, that series went 7 games. So, you know, that victory over Chicago was no fluke. The Sixers were a tough out. Great defensive team, quick, young, athletic. And they've got a bright future, guys. Nice, aggressive defensive play to make the steal and start the break.
Yeah, and I like the fact they didn't mess around with it once they got it.
And Holiday kicks to Young. Feeds to Turner. Holiday. Dishes to Hawes. Over Jordan. Another miss by Philadelphia.
Well, you know what? You really expect him to knock that jumper down when he gets a good look like that.
And Brandon Knight, the bucket on the assist by Jordan. Knight's got 17.
He looks good, getting it done consistently. From deep.
Steve, I know you love the three ball, and he's been sharp, kind of like Steve Kerr used to be.
Holiday attacking. He dishes it to Hawes. It's good. The assist that time from Holiday. Hawes got his second bucket of the game to go.
Right now, they're just pillow-like inside. Way too soft. Too many looks at and around the hoop.
Yep, totally agree, Clark. 10 of the last 12 points now that they've surrendered have come inside that lane area.
Holiday, the pass to Young. He's against Miller. And Young slams it home.
Throwing it down with one hand and making it look easy.
Easy, and Fonny just thrives on making the D look silly.
Yeah, which is something he does pretty often, Kevin.
Come to me, come to me.
Jordan kicks to Knight. Miller outside. No good. And Philadelphia the other way now. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. That'll be the latter half of this two-game homestand.
Well, I'm anxious to see what ends up happening with that Bulls game. Should be a good one.
Turner dishes to Hawes. That drops. Hawes got 8 points.
They continue to barrel their way inside, and when's the defense going to adjust?
Well, I'm asking the same question myself, partner. I mean, that's 8 points out of their last 10 coming inside.
Second shot opportunity. DeRozan's shot is good. DeRozan's got 4 this quarter.
And you can see the strategy has been to take the ball inside here.
That's where you get high percentage looks and draw fouls, Steve, and it's a good way to play.
Stuckey kicks to Holiday. Basket is good. The assist from Stuckey. Stuckey's got 5 assists in the game.
Well, he's been scoring pretty well on just a few attempts. It might help them out if he was a bit more assertive.
Harden can't hit. The 76ers trail by 20.
James Harden has become one of the best players off the bench in the NBA, and anytime you get a guy who can score like that and create offense, it's a tremendous weapon to have coming off your bench.
Miller outside, and there's the foul. It goes on Evan Turner. That'll be his second foul of the game. And the 76ers with a completely new group now. And a different look here for the Pistons. J.J. Hickson, he's checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Anderson comes in for Mike Miller. Tristan Thompson, he's checked in for DeMar DeRozan. And Jordan Crawford is subbed in for Brandon Knight. Both free throws good from Crawford. We've got 1:23 left in the third. Jenkins, the pass to Richardson. Off target with his 3. And going back to Harden, very fashion forward. It's not just the beard, it's the bow tie. Clark, the thick rim glasses.
Yeah, he calls Baron Davis his big brother, and they look like they go to the same stylist, that's for sure. I think it's the LA hipster thing, that swag that they're flowing with going on. But it's all good because Baron is a good role model for a guy like Harden. And to Harden's credit, he's latched himself to that wagon.
And Turner kicks to Richardson. Richardson missing again.
This is a nice lead they've built. Very good job controlling the glass this game.
You've got to be pleased as a coach to see how your team is boxed out. Very fundamentally sound basketball.
Rodney Stuckey's checked in for Jason Richardson. Here's Turner. No good. The Pistons go the other way with it.
I'm sure he'd like to have a do-over here. He just hasn't been able to make a significant contribution in this one.
Thompson dishes to Anderson. Crawford outside. From deep. Count that one.
Jordan Crawford.
Crawford's got 14.
Another open look from outside. The defense is really struggling to close out on the shooters.
Yep, making them pay, doing it from long range.
Shots good by Turner.
Kevin, nice high percentage look right there.
Harden outside. And he drains the three, but let's see, they may need to review. It. I'm not sure the ball was out of his hand in time. Well, we thought the third quarter was over, but it turns out the officials are going to review the play to see if he released the ball before the buzzer.
A very important call here to make. It hopefully is pretty clear cut here on the tape for the officials. But from where I sit, this is really hard to say one way or the other.
Yeah, no doubt.
This Saturday, Rajon.
I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now I slam it when I want to make sure it's through.
Welcome back. It's time for the fourth quarter and time to check in with the fourth member of our team, Doris Burke, to find out who had the Sprite Uncontainable Game. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. And it's the Pistons with the Uncontainable Game Award for the offensive stretch they put together. A big push out of the break is what helped them build this lead, and right now they look to be in total control. If they can repeat that effort in the fourth, they'll walk away winners.
Okay, Doris, thanks. That scoring run, guys, was pretty key in this game so far, don't you think?
Yeah, very much so, Kevin. I mean, that was like a runaway train there for a while. No stopping them. That really blew the game open.
Well, you bet it did. I mean, when you've got one team in such terrific offensive rhythm and the other guys on their back feet, tentative, hesitant, it almost always leads to runs like that.
Charles Jenkins out there with Damian Wilkins. Then it's Kwame Brown. Then there's Arnett Moultrie. And it's Wright in at the three, the small forward. That's the group in the game for the 76ers. 6 to shoot. Here's Jenkins. Rebound by the Pistons. Ibaka's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
And that rebound pushes their margin to +5 on the boards. Solid job on the glass.
Well, it's just part of what they've done here to build this big lead, and it shouldn't be overlooked. I mean, rebounding is a huge part of this game.
Out of bounds, Detroit takes possession. And here's what the Detroit Pistons schedule looks like. They'll host the Denver Nuggets after this one. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. The Pistons shooting a superb 63% from the field. Azubuike for 3. Tries again. Ibaka, no luck.
Excellent, really solid job actually by the defense to get in his way as he was going up for that one.
The 10-footer. And their work on the board pays off with the second chance points. The Pistons have gone 1 of 4 since the end of the third quarter. Knight passes to Azubuike. Jordan. Second chance shot. And at last they get one to fall.
Well, you hate to see a guy suffer through a game like this, but his team is winning.
And Jenkins kicks to right. The pass to Moultrie. Good look. The shot no good. Ibaka with some nice D. Pistons have gone 2 of 7 from the field in what's been a cold start to the fourth quarter for them. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. Moment to see how the schedule is looking for Philadelphia. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home.
Yeah, some good matchups. And I'll tell you, that Pacers game definitely has caught my eye. You know, guys, for a long time in the NBA, off-season strength programs were about adding muscle. But I think that's changed quite a bit. Players are focusing a lot more on core strength and balance. In fact, some of them are even losing weight in an effort to make themselves more flexible and more durable.
Knight kicks to Azubuike. Here's the 3. Rebound by the 76ers. And the foul. On Brandon Knight. That'll be his second foul of the game. Here's Jenkins.
Second personal foul, second team foul.
Right outside. Tries from 7. That's good on the jump shot. You talked about the big guys losing weight. Kevin Love and Kendrick Perkins, examples of that for sure.
Well, it's always been about conditioning. It's just, now players are able to train year-round in a very innovative way. They've got access to more information than ever before. I know Love actually has done yoga quite a bit the last couple of years to slim down. Perkins himself has worked incredibly hard. So you always love it when you see guys really pushing themselves to get better.
Allen kicks to right. Good ball movement here by the 76ers. 4 on the clock. Here's Brown. The offensive rebound.
Well contested shot, and they did an excellent job of not fouling the shooter.
Defense is about effort and commitment and discipline. He's a good defender because of those things.
Here's Wilkins. Rebound by the Pistons. Ibaka's got 9 rebounds now tonight. He feeds it to Azubuike. Knight takes a 3. Blocked. Now the 76ers on the break. Jenkins with the ball. And it's Brown missing. The Pistons shooting just 30% from the field here in the 4th. Harkless dishes to Knight. Puts up a 3. Again, the miss by the Pistons. 76ers have gone just 2 of 8 in this 4th quarter. The final quarter not treating them well so far. Wilkins against Knight. Wilkins kicks to Allen. The feed to right. And the shot is good.
Basket by Durant, right.
So it's Detroit now. So far in the 4th quarter, they've allowed just 6 points. Knight passes to Harkless.
Kick it out, kick it out.
The dish to Jordan. Allen with the rebound. Allen's got his 3rd rebound tonight.
It's been a struggle for him offensively tonight, and they'd love to have his production out there.
Right from outside. Snatched up.
They have a nice lead here and have really controlled the glass for the majority of the game. Kudos to them for their strong effort on the backboard.
Yeah, and they're sending a message too, Clark. They're really coming out and playing a very physical game here.
And Jenkins kicks to right for 3. And a clear foul there as he shot the triple. He'll go to the line for 3 free throws.
Well, for Darrell Wright, great height and length for a perimeter player. He can guard both 2s and 3s. And what I like about him is that he grew up in that Miami Heat organization under Pat Riley, so he has great fundamentals defensively, and he understands his role.
The 76ers making a switch here. Moultrie's checked in. Detroit also making some changes. Tristan Thompson, he's checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Miller comes in for Harkless. And it's Harden in for Kalena Azubuike. And the 76ers making a change here. Turner's checked in. Harden outside. No good. They had a chance to end the run there. You talk about Wright's length. It really helps him defensively with rebounding and contesting shots, Clark.
Hey, length will help you offensively too, Kevin. I mean, whether you're finishing alley-oops or knocking down 3s over the top of defenders, that reach can make a difference.
Stuckey.
Pistons foul.
Stuckey has been putting up the numbers. He's got 10 points and 2 steals. He's given them a lot with his passing and with his defensive work.
Well, he's been so active on the court at both ends and really playing a nice game.
They're locked in from the charity stripe this half. Not a miss yet.
And they're going to have to continue that pace, Clark, because they're down, and anytime you're losing, you got to take advantage of every offensive opportunity you have.
And there's the rejection. And it's Ibaka getting it to go. And the Pistons lead by 21. The 76ers shooting pretty good tonight at 48%. Timeout call, the 76ers.
Well, last season with the condensed schedule, we saw teams really preserving their star players in the regular season, limiting their minutes. And frankly, I think it's something that should be done every season to save their energy for when it matters most. I think it's a good philosophy.
Going back to what Clark was just talking about, an interesting stat over the last 8 years, there have been almost 100 occasions of players who logged over 3,000 minutes in a season. And get this, none of those players, Steve, none of them went on to win a title.
That's amazing, Kevin. And I think of Greg Popovich and his handling of Tim Duncan the last couple of years, limiting his minutes and allowing him to extend his career. And the Spurs had another terrific season a year ago. So I think it's something that you have to try to do as a coach. It's difficult because you don't want to lose your job, but you've got to be able to try to extend guys' careers and improve the quality of their play by cutting down their minutes.
Hawes, no luck. Pistons leading by 21. Crawford with the ball. Rodney Stuckey covering. Here's Harden, and there's another one for the Pistons.
Now, this is a done deal here. They've pretty much finished this team off.
Yep, we can put this one in the books. Too much to overcome now.
Here's Stuckey. Tries again. Young. The shot is off. Ibaka with some nice D. Kicks it out to Harden. Beyond the arc. And good on the basket. Book it. Harden's got 11 in the second half.
Yeah, and that's his first 3 of the half. There may be more in store.
1:10 left here in the fourth quarter. Kicks it to Holiday. To halt the run. Oh, that's blocked. Ibaka with the ball. He's against Hawes. Off the mark with the little step back Johnny. The 76ers shooting in the fourth quarter down around 31%, not playing with as much energy here lately. Now Young inside. Good D by Harden. Pistons shooting has been fun to watch in this game. They're at 57%. And there's Ibaka. That's good on the assist by Crawford.
I think we can chalk this one up. The goal now is just to run some time.
Yeah, I think it's time to get the bus started now, boys.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Young sets a screen for Stuckey. Here's Hawes. Young. Can't get it to go. Harden against Holiday. Fires the 3. Shot is off.
Tough three-point try there with a hand in his face.
Boy, you'd be lucky to make that one against great defense.
And so it's the Pistons taking care of business here.
79. The Pistons. 107.